Hey everyone, so I wanted to shoot another car video, and I'm going to do this video on Aurora Speedline cars. So Aurora back in the 1960s used to make slot cars, and they made them with bodies like this. Only they were slot cars underneath. These are rolling cars. Slot cars had a pin in them, and they ran down tracks with power going to them. These were produced in very, very, very limited numbers. It's very hard to find them in any condition. Most of the time they have little damage done to them, like this car, if my camera will focus. Its roof here is missing. Unfortunately, my camera won't focus on that very well. It's missing two of its posts there. You can see that piece kind of broken off. We'll get to that in a minute because they're plastic they're metallized kind of plastic. So Aurora also made these types of cars, which were called cigar box cars, but they only made them for 2 weeks back in the 1960s. The reason for that is that they didn't sell. And they were competing against Hotwheels at the time. This is a wonderful, beautiful Cougar. And they made colorized plastic, which just didn't sell. But then they moved over to these colorful cars, which screeched on the track with striping and stuff, and they sold pretty well. Not in great numbers, but they sold pretty well. Enough to keep Aurora in the business. And Mattel was having a very hard time getting red line Hot Wheels, like a 68 Camaro, getting them produced fast enough and out the door fast enough to be able to supply enough in the stores, and that's why Aurora was still selling cars. So Auroras are very, very difficult to find. And this particular collection I happen to luck out to buy. And they're stunningly beautiful. Like, here is, I'm having some cookies here late at night. Here is a beautiful Ford. My camera won't focus in on that, but that's the Ford GT. And notice how it's got a black wheel and a silver wheel. If you can find the cars with the all black wheels are really, really rare because they were the last production runs as well too. So this one still had some colored wheels on it, the two rear ones, or front and rear, and then had the black ones installed. This is a very, very beautiful rose color. Look how just stunningly beautiful that car is. And so what I do to price my cars is I use the Toy Car Collector website here online, and they tell me, what they've been selling for. So I use a percentage of this because when he sells them, they just show up as sold and what the pricing point was. And he's kind of the authority for cars for me on the Aurora cigar box. And you can see he's got all kinds of them here on his website. So I use that. Those are US dollars. I use that as my my guide to figure out what valuation is on these. So let's go through and just kind of show you this amazing collection. They are all in mint condition. This is the Chaparral. Might be missing the head of a driver there. And it's not in there. We'll do a little bit of research to figure that out. I might have, no, that's a pin. So somebody's missing a pin too. So this is the blue Cougar. This is the Speedline. And they've made even less of the Speedlines because this has the hard wheels as well too. Now this has got a little suspension problem going on in there. We'll figure out what's going on there when I take a look at it. And of course they made these dragster cars because these were really, really popular. These bodies were really popular in the am I going to remember it? in the with the running down the track, the race cars. And so they carried these bodies over and produced them in black wheeled cars. Late run, purple. I'll do some research and figure out what it's worth. And keep in mind that they made very few of these because it's purple. They just weren't selling. But then they also made them in a different color. Again, suspension thing going on here. We'll figure that out. We'll take a look at it. Just stunningly beautiful. This is the Ferrari. I believe this is a Ferrari. Yeah. Oh, no, this is a Cobra GTS. Ford Cobra GTS. Again, little suspension thing. We'll figure out what's going on there. Take a look at it, see if I can't get them back up, or if there's a spring in there that's been broken. But we'll figure that out as we get into the, you'll see the other ones that I've already processed are in a little bit better shape. And then here we've got the Ford T-Bird. Now you can see that this one has some damage there, to at least to the mold. I'll figure out whether that's, I think it's just damage to the mold right there at the gas tank. Can't really see it because my camera is not focusing very well. But I'll figure it out, take a look at it. Again, suspension things going on there. And this has got a pin broken, so that's where there is a pin down here, right there. And that's that pin that goes into that hole to hold the car together. So it might be the pin that ends up coming in and holding the suspension all together too, I'm not sure. We'll take a look and be very cautious because that's an expensive car. But here's some cars that I've already processed for the store. Stunningly beautiful, and I have the King. We'll get there. This will be the last part of the video. The King is that one. I'm going to show it to you up here on the computer too. So this is the Aurora Speedline Mint Ford J car with black wheels all around. The black wheels make it rarer. It is a kind of a pink, a light pinkish color, and just beautifully stunning. Keep in mind this is 1967. This is a 55-year-old toy now, with a plastic kind of, and anything would have wore on that, but it's just stunning. That's only $25 Canadian. And it'll go in my store for $25 Canadian. This is the very rare, unfortunately it has that little bit of damage there. This is the very rare Ford XL500 Galaxy. Nearly impossible to find. Just stunningly beautiful again. A little bit of damage, unfortunately. And this is a $65 car because of the damage in the shop. Canadian. This is the Aurora Speedline Mangusta with the yellow interior. The yellow interior was a little bit rarer. The white, and most of them had like a whitish cream interior, and you see that here. That's why it's interesting to see that color interior. How many colors of that interior did they actually produce in the Mangusta? Very few. And Toy Car Collector actually has one up here, a Mangusta. So I use their site to be able to help me figure out what my Mangusta is worth. They have one right there with the yellow interior for just $15. So it's exactly the same, only mine has some mixed black wheels, so it's a little bit later production run. And that's why I've got it priced. And that was $15 US. I've got mine priced at $17.50 Canadian. Less than the exchange rate. That's why sales in my store work out very, very well. Now we've got the AC Cobra, again with all 4 black wheels, late production run, in mint condition. Just stunningly beautiful again. It's exceptionally rare to be this nice. And again, if we go back to the Toy Car Collector website, they have some AC Cobras that they've sold, but their AC Cobras that they've sold had the Some of them didn't have a windshield, and some of them had a glued-on windshield. So again, purple, light purple, no glued-on windshield here. This is the original windshield, as is, exactly as it came from the factory. And so that's far more than what their costs are, but you know, keep in mind $40 by 35%. This is in a mint one, $70, fly off the shelf. Then we've got the 63 Corvette, split window, all black wheels, all around, late production run, stunningly beautiful again, $70. We've got the purple. Notice how this is a little different color here. It's purple, and it is the Aurora Speedline purple, black wheels, Porsche 904, and they made just more of these. There were more of these available, or they were less collected, and that's $40 in my store. Now back to the Ford J car. Again, here's another one without the stripe. So I showed you this one with the stripe. This one doesn't have the stripe. It's stunningly beautiful. All black wheels, $25, same price as the other one. Now, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. The king of the Aurora cigar cars, or not really cigar cars, but Speedline cars, is you learn this stuff by following along online. So by going to the Toy Car Collector website, he goes through all of them, and he gets down to the Ford Torino. Let me find it here. Sorry, I'm scrolling through while I'm talking here, but Ford J car, Galaxy 500. Oops. Where did it go? Torino. It's under Torino then. Let's go down to the T's. Thunderbird, Torino. So on the website, Ford Torino, display only, the hardest model to find, not even for sale. Means to him, this car that he has in his collection is priceless. He's not selling it for any money. If you're the sheik in Saudi Arabia, you could probably buy it. But he's not selling it unless you're a sheik in Saudi Arabia. So in this collection, this car was in there. Exact same car. It has a little bit more wear on the roof because this sat sideways in the box for a while, or the roof came, or the slider came across and hit this a little bit more. So you can see, you can just about see my bald head there, which is nice to be able to see that reflectivity in the car. No damage to it whatsoever. All black wheels, late production run, beautiful base. Aurora Speedline, Ford Torino, black wheels, 80%. I'm grading it 80% because of the damage to the roof there. Hardest one to find, the King, $200 in my shop, Canadian. And that will sell to the right person. I'll probably end up having to put this on my Etsy channel, but on Etsy, they realize how tough these Aurora Speedline cars are, and I will end up selling it at some point in time to an Aurora collector who understands how rare and valuable these are. If I put it out on Etsy, I might actually bump the price up a little bit. I'll have to think about that because I'll never probably get another one in my lifetime. Think about that for a minute. I will probably never get another one of these in my lifetime. And I'm 55. And I buy a lot of cars. But the rarest of the rare, Aurora Speedline, Ford Torino, gonna be in my shop, Holland Consignments, on Ottawa Street. There's a little damage there too, a little like scratch in the surface. But this will be in my shop. $200 Canadian. Holland Consignments, Moy and Ottawa Street in the city of Windsor. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your spending some time with me on these Aurora cigar cars or Speedline cars. Let me get them called right. One last thing to share with you. This was massive news. So there was an auction last night. I don't have them yet. But Hot Wheels made some semi-trucks. They're exceptionally rare. They're called steerables. I just won an auction with 5 steerable semi-trucks. As you can see, when I turn this wheel back here, you can see how the truck turns. So I can drive the truck with this wheel. Now this one has just a little bit of paint loss on the engine or the cab here. A little bit of dirt, a little bit of staining here up on top. But these are so ultra rare. 1980s steerables, Sunset Citrus truck, Sunset Citrus. $200 in my shop. This is the day cab version. And then I have another one of these. There was 2, and that's the only one I have. And then there's this one as well too, which is the steerables. Eagle Trucking. This one's a little bit less because they actually sold these a little bit more than that one. So this will be about 175 in my shop, and I just won 5 more. They are ultra, ultra, ultra rare. You never, ever, ever see them. And I was able to snag the auction last night because people weren't paying any attention. I paid up for them, don't get me wrong, but luckily my commission checks for selling real estate are really strong and I don't have any debt. And I wanted them for my shop. They'll probably have to go on to Etsy, and they should fly off of Etsy. They're exceptionally rare. So thanks for watching. I'm glad to be able to share with you a little bit about my hobby. We'll touch on this car here in a different video. That one, the nicest Volkswagen silver wheel, and the only Volkswagen silver wheel in all the years that I've been buying collections that I've ever been able to find. And this was just sitting in a collection of other scrappers around it. I knew exactly what it was and got it actually pretty darn cheap compared to all the scrappers that were distracting people around it. Again, all of a sudden, you know, when people start falling asleep at the wheel, not paying attention to the auctions, I can step in and get some phenomenal cars. Those will all be processed. This is going to be processed after the first of the year. I am enjoying owning it while I own it. It's sitting here on my desk, and I'm just enjoying owning it while I own it. So this one's not going to go out there unless you happen to watch this video and say, hey, Brian, I want that Volkswagen. I don't even know what I'm going to price this at, because to me, this is almost priceless as well, too. It's the only one I've ever seen, the only one I've ever had in my hands, and that's far more valuable than a coin or something else to me. Oh, and speaking of coins, too, I've got some Lincoln pennies, wheat pennies. I won early wheat pennies, 19s, with mint marks on them as well, too. That I won again. People were asleep at the wheel, and I like swooping in when people are asleep at the wheel to be able to buy coins as well too. But Volkswagen, Matchbox, early, exceptionally tough, this nice. Clear windows. What a car. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great night. Oh, and Merry Christmas as well too. You can't have this one for a Christmas gift, but you can have any of my Aurora cigar cars. They're going to be, or Speedline cars, are going to be in the shop here. Some of them, these are going to be going in there probably tomorrow for people to buy. and they go fast. Some of them do, once they know I have them there. But thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. Bye-bye.